Book TV recently visited Capitol Hill to ask members of Congress what they're reading this summer.
Well, as I mentioned to you before, I usually keep a book on my nightstand in Indiana as I travel back and forth to Washington every week and sometimes more than once a week. I keep a book on my nightstand here in our place in Washington. So before I go to bed, I try to get some good reading in. And then I have my On the Plane book, which I read going back and forth. So, not surprisingly, the two books that I'm reading here in Indiana have just finished, incidentally. Jack Kemp's book, Bleeding Heart Conservative. I was a very close friend of Jack Kemp, colleague of Jack Kemp. Coates family and Kemp family had a very good personal relationship, and so it's interesting to go back and read some of that history. Also, the latest book here on the politics, which fits for Washington, is Mitch McConnell's book, the Long Road. What is it? The Long Road?
Long Game. The
Long Game. Yeah, title. Anyway, I thought since he's my boss and he gave me a free book, I ought to read it. And so, since I see him every day, I say, "Hey, I just read chapter 7. I didn't know this about you, et cetera, et cetera." Then my book On the Plane is a new book about Churchill that was written by the former mayor of London, Boris Johnson. I'm a big Churchill fan. I've read every book I can get on Churchill, but this one is from a different perspective. I really recommend it to people because it's a totally different look at Churchill and different perspective. So I'm enjoying that. I'm right in the middle of that now. And then my book at home, I always have to be reading a spy book. I'm on the Intelligence Committee. I love spy books, and so Simon Mauer wrote a book called Tightrope. It's about a World War II spy that was airdropped into France to report on the Germans and so forth. And absorbing novel. So those four recently have been my books, and then I'm stacking up ideas for the break here in August to hopefully have a little more time reading.
Book TV wants to know what you're reading this summer. Tweet us your answer at BookTV, or you can post it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/BookTV.